Once upon a time, they called him a hero, a man who wore the uniform with pride, who stood on foreign soil to defend freedom, protect the innocent, and serve the country he loved. He didn't ask for applause. He didn't ask for favors. All he asked for was respect, for his service, his sacrifice, and his voice. But now, in modern Britain, that same man is being vilified, not for breaking the law, not for inciting violence, but for daring to speak the truth. At a peaceful protest in Waterlooville, he took the microphone to express what millions are thinking, but few have the courage to say. Because in this country now, if you question the system, you're an extremist. If you stand up for your homeland, you're a bigot. If you speak up for the British people, you become the enemy. This isn't just about migration, this is about betrayal, about a political elite that salutes Ukraine soldiers while branding our own veterans as threats. But this man didn't stay silent, and in just a few words, he delivered a message that cut through the lies, the labels, and the loaded rhetoric. So don't let the media twist it. Don't let the headlines bury it. Watch it for yourself. Here is the unedited, uncensored footage of a British veteran who has had enough. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. We have released our new I'm Not Far Right t-shirts. There are 2 different variants which come in black and blue. You can find them at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Let's get into today's video. Have a watch.
I am no racist. No. I am a realist. Yes. I don't speak with emotion. I speak with passion. I speak with fact. Yes. I am fed up of being called a Nazi. No. The leftist fake statistics have been proven wrong. They have nothing to offer but insults, division, violence and nasty. They parade to be these decent, warm-loving people, but they are the worst. I originally used to live in London, so I know how it is. I couldn't get housed in my own city after service. I was denied. But I'm so pleased. I'm proud to call myself from Portsmouth. They insult us, they abuse us, they let us down. We get a clap once a year. I used to be called a hero, and now my own Prime Minister has labelled me a far-right bug. The veterans have had enough. Yes. They are not going to fight for Starmer. I fought for this country and was prepared to die for the flag. Yes, never did I think I'd be put in the situation I might have to die to protect it from its leaders.
What are your thoughts on this? You can hear the passion in this man's voice, the hurt from the betrayal from his own country. He's a man who fought to keep this country safe and free, only for his own leaders to turn on him, for them to bring the dangers he tried to protect us from, for them to bring the tyrannical legislation he fought against. This isn't just another speech, this is real, this is pain from a man who was willing to give his life so we could live ours. Let me know in the comments. In other news, Keir Starmer is rewarding Hamas with his pledge to recognize the state of Palestine, Nigel Farage has said to the media. The Reform UK leader said the Prime Minister is concerned about darker forces potentially costing him a hefty number of votes. The Prime Minister fears a 2-state solution to the conflict in the Middle East feels further away today than it has for many, many years. He issued an ultimatum to the Israeli government in a bid to end the appalling humanitarian situation in Gaza. The UK would refrain from recognizing a Palestinian state if Israel allows more aid into Gaza, stops annexing land in the West Bank, agrees to a ceasefire and signs up to a long-term peace process over the next 2 months. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Starmer is rewarding Hamas's monstrous terrorism, a sentiment echoed by Farage. There are a growing number, the last number I know, 133 Labour MPs, demanding that the Prime Minister recognises the state of Palestine, he said. But of course, as far as Starmer is concerned, electorally, perhaps slightly darker forces with Corbyn and others on the left. So we, as a country, won't recognize the state of Palestine, provided Israel agrees to a ceasefire and ends the appalling situation in Gaza, which is pretty subjective, and as long as Israel commits to a long-term sustainable peace. But there's no demand on the Palestinians at all, absolutely zero. Do the Palestinians have to recognize the legitimacy of the state of Israel and promise to exist peacefully in coexistence? My view, for what it's worth, I think this is actually rewarding Hamas in so many ways. And have we all forgotten? I think we have, the barbarities that took place on the 7th of October. And I think there will be many, many British Jews tonight very, very upset by what the Prime Minister has done. In his address, Starmer insisted that Hamas must immediately release all remaining Israeli hostages, sign up to a ceasefire, disarm, and accept that they will play no part in the government of Gaza. He said the government's primary aim was getting aid into Gaza and getting hostages released when asked why recognition was conditional. He added, "This is intended to further that course, and it is done now because I am particularly concerned that the very idea of a two-state solution is reducing and feels further away today than it has for many, many years, and therefore it should be seen in both of those contexts." The Prime Minister discussed a UK-led international plan to alleviate the crisis in Gaza with Donald Trump on Monday, when the US President acknowledged there was real starvation in the territory. In conclusion, Keir Starmer's announcement has ignited a firestorm of controversy, both at home and abroad. While the Labour leader insists his conditional offer to recognise a Palestinian state is a strategic step toward reviving the crumbling hopes of a two-state solution, his critics argue it sends the wrong message at a dangerous time. Nigel Farage has accused him of capitulating to internal party pressure and appeasing radical elements on the left, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has gone further, branding the move as a reward for terrorism in the wake of Hamas's brutal October 7th attacks. Starmer's defense, that the recognition is contingent on Israel meeting a series of humanitarian and diplomatic conditions, has done little to placate opponents who see a one-sided approach that demands far less from the Palestinian side. With no requirement for the Palestinians to formally recognize Israel or commit to peaceful coexistence, critics argue the policy risks undermining trust and emboldening extremist factions. At the heart of the Prime Minister's strategy is a belief that the window for peace is closing rapidly and that bold steps are needed to prevent total collapse. He has framed the move as part of a broader diplomatic effort to increase aid to Gaza, secure the release of hostages, and press both parties toward long-term stability. Yet this nuanced position is proving difficult to sell in a highly charged environment where emotion, ideology, and geopolitical tension all collide. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.